Hello, hello, welcome. I'm Tara Howisey with the Radiant Goddess Collective, and you're watching Modern Magic, your YouTube channel for discovering all things magical, mystical, and mindful in your life, love, and business. And I'm here today with Anne-Sophie Dumetz. She is the founder of the global movement or collective called She's a Changemaker. She is a Changemaker, and Anne-Sophie really helps women step into that place of knowing that there is more for themselves and owning up to their value and going out and kicking some serious ass. So Anne-Sophie, thanks so much for being here. I'm really honored and delighted to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really thrilled to be here. This is so magical that we made a connection and now we're creating something together.
Yes. And Anne-Sophie, I was originally really drawn to you on Facebook because you were so clear on what you do for women in your business. And you were so excited about it. And you were so authentic and just sort of bubbling over with joy to support other women in their light working journey.
Yay! That's so good. I'm so glad that came out.
Yeah.
I am really excited.
I'm really excited specifically. This call is really pertinent and really now because you were sharing with me that you recently went on this sort of energetic shift in your business and you started showing up with a deeper commitment to operating in 100% love, and some incredible things happened for you. And I really love it. If you could share that with the audience.
Yes, I would love to. First thing I'm going to say is for anybody here who has a really big heart and feels really confident that, love is the way to go. The moment, if you do what I did and decide one day and just declare it to the world, like declared it, like I wrote it out, I put it out there and say, you know what, I'm choosing to build my life and my business 100% based on love, which means 0% fear. Mm-hmm. The first thing you're going to feel is afraid. It's true. It's true. Because you'd be like, oh my God, am I fucking crazy? This is a ridiculous decision. Like the voices will show up. So I want to say that, but it was a really important, pertinent decision because, here we are as business women thinking, I want to love what I do. I want to be confident. I want to get clients. I want to close some sales, have people I love show up, have partnerships, interviews like this. So like, I want all these things that I love. And yet so many business women, entrepreneurs are online and they're operating 90% of their day from a place of fear. Oh, what if nobody comments? What if nobody opts in? What if, I get on a call with a client, with a potential client and they say no? It's all this fear. And that's a disconnect energetically. Like you can't create a result you love if you hate the journey you're on. You're not going to love kayaking on the ocean if all you're doing is saying the water sucks and like this, if it just won't work. Right. Wow. So I made, like, I've known this in my cellular being, like, I've just known this. I needed to do this. I think one day, I can't even remember the exact date. It was like in May of 2016. And I basically showed up and was like, enough.
Which is like 1 month ago, a month and a half, maybe, right? Because we're filming this in the middle of June.
Yeah. So like I had decided this for myself a long time ago. Like I've been saying, I work with business women whose work spreads love and changes lives. And it's been part of my path and my journey, but I hadn't really, declared it for myself. Mm-hmm. So then the moment I declared that, I started to implement some shifts in my business and my approach. So I decided I'm going to show up from a place of 100% love for myself in everything I post. Like everything I write, everything I create, how I think about my time, always feel like there's enough love and space for me to enjoy what I'm doing. And what happened is the week that I decided that, I did take some strategic actions and put some things together, all from a place of how can I serve me and the people I'm here to serve. Mm-hmm. And within 6 days of that happening, I filled my calendar with calls. 100% of those people became my clients. I had 2 extra people reach out to me and say, hey, 1 or 2, I can't remember, but at least 1, maybe 2 reach out to me and say, hey, like send me an invoice. Like I want to work with you. Wow. So the whole thing shifted. And then rather than being in a sales call or a conversation with a woman and being like, oh my God, I'm going to have to ask her to work with me. Like just having any level of fear, just choosing to be 100% in a place of love. created massive shifts and celebrations. And in fact, right before I got on the call with you, I was talking to one of these new clients, and I had emailed her and said, what's it been like for you shifting in this place of more love? And she hadn't written me back. She said, I've been rendered speechless by the transformation that's made in my business and in my life to operate from this place of love. So like, she's had more confidence, more clarity, things have been showing up. And I've been receiving testimonials from all these different women. So it's there's definitely an energetic upgrade, and in my body, like your audience is probably going to relate to this. Like when you shift your energy, your body's got to catch up. And so I definitely went through a moment of like, oh my God, my energy is so big, I can't handle it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, so that was like a big shift, big decision.
That's crazy. And can I ask you, when you were leading up to this energetic shift, in May, when you finally made that decision, were there things that were happening prior to that moment in time that were feeling off for you? Could you maybe give some examples of some clues that women might look for that let them know that fear is there? Like, we can know when we have a scared thought. But was there anything else that you were really kind of feeling in your body, or signals that it was time for you to do this 100% all in with love?
So that's a great question. I mean, this was not an overnight moment. There has been months leading up to it where I had let go of one part of a business, started to trust being able to close my eyes and just see the light and the path ahead of me. And I started to really trust myself and my inspiration and my decisions. And so like, I did put together some things. And I did do some work around seeing like, what am I growing? Like, I have this big vision and dream, like really for me, ultimately, I want to get to see women feel unscripted and free, and being able to just trust yourself, show up wherever. You don't need cue cards. You can just be, and it's safe, and people will love you for it. And so that's like ultimately the work that I aspire for women to get to, but it's around, being clear when you communicate, when you're interviewing, when you're writing, when you're selling, and feeling, and even the word clear is not around choice of words, is also feeling clear as a person. So uncluttered, unconfused. Non-love is non-existence. It's all feeling in joy and just having a sense of, I just feel well. So it's that sense of true well-being. I did have a concussion last August, and it still impacts me. And so physically for me, if I push too much, my body makes me stop. I have this strong physical signal that says you've overdone it. So I think some of the signs to watch out for is actually just to almost like zoom outside of yourself and look down and be like, am I being this crazy busy woman who's always on her phone and running around and just like this like crazy energy? Rather than, am I feeling grounded? Am I feeling connected? Do I feel I have space to know what my breath is?
Yes, I love that. And that space is when when you have the moment to say, oh, there's this vision that I have that is different than where I'm operating now. I mean, I can go there to that new place. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I guess I want to say too, like the how it was going to show up was not clear immediately, but early in May, I made a decision. I said, well, May sounds like a permission. So I'm like, let's make May the month of permission. Like, may you have whatever you want.
I like it. May it be.
Yeah. So in the She's a Changemaker Facebook group, I had put that out as an intention and asked people like, what do you want to create? And so that I decided to commit to that for myself. And I did follow it up with a few different kinds of decisions. But the decision to go into 100% love, one of the shifts that happened, at least for me, and it may be the same for your audience, is that when you make a decision to go like that, you need to recommit to it like 200 times every day. Like every time you choose to think something and you do something, you just have to, is this the most loving thing I can do for myself and for my work and for my people right now? It's just, is this the most loving thing I can do? And love is, and truth, like I think truth is the greatest measure of love. And so, when there's a lie that shows up, it's not love. It's just a BS thought. So the moment I decided, okay, I'm going to operate from love, I started to slay BS beliefs like a ninja. I was like, oh, That's not love. That's fear. See you later. And I did a lot of inner work too, but things became more evident. I'm like, oh, that's not love.
The contrast was so much sharper between that peaceful, loving, expansive feeling, and like you said, that like BS feeling of fear. I love it. You're slaying them like a ninja.
Yeah, but I feel too. So I don't want people to hear love and think like rainbows, fluffy, la la la. Like, this is not what we're talking about. Okay, so this is like fierce, fiery, passionate love. Like, this is you showing up for yourself, loving yourself enough to get unconfused and actually get clear about who you are, what you're here to do, and get savvy as a business person. Like, kick ass and make sales. Ask for the sale. It's okay. You're safe. So it's also that kind of love, which is, the no bullshit love, the tough love. It's all love.
Yeah. I love that. It's like the masculine and the feminine side. There's the soft, fluffy, warm, snuggly feelings of love. And like you said, there's the ass kicking, energetic, Hulk of the side of love. And all of that is still part of the same thing.
Yeah. Can I give your people a tool?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. So this is something, at this point, I anticipate there's going to be resistance hearing this conversations, both excitement and be like, well, that sounds too easy.
Or I tried that before and it didn't work.
Yeah. So oftentimes there's a giant list of things that fall into the no category that is blocking the ability to really be in the yes category. So I like to take it a step further. And I think for women who are really fiery and passionate and know that they have big stuff to do in the world, it's really fun. Fun is a key ingredient to make your list of fuck no's. Fuck no. Like, fuck no, I'm never going to do this again. I'm never going to work with this kind of person again. And like, just make your outlaw list. Like, fuck no, I will never again do this. And then on the other side, like, after you've done that, this is what will happen physically. You'll do your fuck no list and you'll feel like liberated, like, oh my God. And you'll feel passion and purpose. And so when you're feeling passionate and purpose, you're actually loving yourself. Then you can make your list of hell yes.
That's killer, because suddenly you've used the negativity in the way the universe is meant for it to be used to guide you toward what you do want, not to simmer and feel bad about it, but as sharp, like, ouch, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Trust that feeling, put it on the fuck no list, and now you're all fired up and you're specific about what you do want. That's incredible.
Yeah. This is my fuck no, hell yes cue card. It has like things that hell yes I want to do and fuck no's I don't want to do. So I'm still growing into implementing all that stuff. But
Can you read something off of there? Is that fine?
Sure. Fuck no list. Automations. Like, I actually put a lot of technological things on there.
Oh, yeah.
I also, fuck no, I will never again shortchange myself, undervalue my services, charge less than I'm worth, and feel like I'm putting my family through a lot of pain financially because I've had low confidence. Like, that's been a fuck no that I identified recently. Like, being afraid to stand up for myself and what I'm actually killer at has created a lot of stress on my family for some time. Like, things are changing, but that did happen. And then my hell yes list is, coaching, interviews is number 2 on my list. Creating new content, articles. Like, for me, it's just basically sharing the inner wisdom. Like, I love when Brene Brown says, that story is the data of the soul. Like, it's so true, but we have the ability to shift our stories and see them in a new light. So, and I think with this fuck no list, what it gives women permission to do is to actually love that part of you that's really clear about what you don't want.
Yeah, it's there for a reason. It's there to guide us toward our higher purpose and path. And it's like literally a warning bell that rings every time we're like off the path and not where we're supposed to be.
Totally.
Incredible.
It's fun. And it's fun.
And it's funny. And thank you for reading off of your list, sharing some of those things. You mentioned a little bit of technology stuff. A lot of women that I've met and me myself have thought, well, I'm not good at Facebook ads, so I'm never going to be able to grow my business because I don't know how to do that. And that's totally a figment of fear, right? Or a perception that is based in fear, thinking, oh, I have to do this recipe that will lead me to success, instead of trusting that the inner guide within us is going to bring us on our own crazy path.
So that's an awesome segue for me to tell you about the next part, like, because, trusting your inner guidance and your inner journey, it's really that sense of trusting yourself enough, loving yourself enough, and being connected enough that you can close your eyes and know that the path is clear right in front of you. And so when I did this and started to do that, I started to receive, I receive a lot of ideas already, but I started to receive more massive, more inspirational ideas. And so after I had this like crazy awesome week of bringing in clients and just shifting everything, I started to teach about spreading love and making sales. And I'm putting together a cheat sheet, so that's coming. But I was like in bed and I got hit, like eyes closed, and I just like, poof, my eyes popped open. I'm like, spread love, make sales, bootcamp, 30 days, 100 women. We're going to change some lives. Like, it was just that clear. I don't know if it was my voice or another, but it was clear. I'm like, it's happened. It was not, it needs to happen. It was like, this is a done fact. All I need to do is show up and keep loving myself enough to make it happen.
Hell yeah. Have you read Liz Gilbert's book, Big Magic?
No, I haven't read it because I get so many ideas that, like, I actually don't read a lot of stuff, so I can stay clear about hearing my voice.
Hear your own voice. That's cool.
Well, I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, and she shares about how ideas can be like, her vision of ideas is like they're little energy bubbles floating around in the universe, looking for someone who's creative and receptive and clear enough to bring them into reality. So in some sense, potentially, like you just said, that idea is already created. It's just looking for someone to bring it into reality.
Yeah, that's right. And just trusting that I've got what it takes to do it. And ultimately it has nothing to do with me. And so showing up from a place of service and love, it's like, well, if I don't show up to implement this idea that found me, then who's losing? Is it, the old me would have thought, oh, I'm not going to make this sales my business or whatever. But now it's like, no, the women who really need to start to really fall in deep, hot, passionate love with sales again. Yeah. And think that it can be fun. It can serve you and serve others. Like, they're going to be the ones who are missing out. So
I love that you said that. And you mentioned before when we were talking about this, that sales calls are like going on dates, and this energy of like freedom and sexiness and fun. And there's never this like locked down, this happens on this date and we go for a pasta, and then this happens and we go for a movie. Can you talk a little bit about that and how that relationship may have shifted for you and your calls with this 100% love?
Yeah, 100% love. Yeah. So one of the things I did in a shift was actually lose my script completely. So I want to be clear that it's not that scripts are terrible, but if you're somebody who has a big heart and a big message, I think it's important to just trust yourself. You need a structure. You need a flow. There's certain things that do need to happen during that conversation. But you need to love yourself enough to trust that just you showing up is what is going to attract people to you. I mean, yes, you have to be savvy and strategic. But that's work that happens before a call. So I can hand you, like, I've tried using sales scripts that I've purchased in different programs, and they gave me shit results. Not always, but, initially it's because I wasn't confident in myself. But yeah, like, I do feel like it's, if let's say you and I met at a coffee shop, and actually I had this experience. I was in San Diego and I ran into this woman 3 times, 3 different stores. It's a big city. So 3 times, wow. 3 different places in one afternoon. And finally we're like, okay, well, we need to meet. So we just met and chatted a bit. So if my next step from having this short chat were to invite her for the Cordon Bleu fancy $400 restaurant meal, she'd be like, what the fuck does she want? Like, it would feel like a huge disconnect. However, if, let's say I'm still in San Diego and I say, okay, well, let's get to know each other. Let's go to my favorite coffee shop. There's a great place there and let's hang out. It would be the next logical step in that relationship. So when you're establishing a relationship with clients in terms of offering things, like, it really is, step 1 is a safe get to know you conversation date type thing. Step 2 is like, oh, well, we really like each other, so how about we, take it another step. So like the parallel could be, an interview and a webinar would be like a first step. And then the next step might be a 20-minute, I do like a message clarity assessment call where I just get on the phone with somebody and I'm not really offering or selling anything, just listening to them. And then we decide, like, is there a next step that we do want to take? throughout the process, though, notice how the power dynamic is that both people are choosing to engage and be there. There's nobody saying, well, you must want me more. So, and I think in any dating and relationships that work, if you remove the expectation, but only stay in the build up and the anticipation, it's going to be good. Then you can get that good energy.
And that's awesome. Hopefully we never go on second dates that when the first date wasn't a match or it was not, super awesome. So I love that. And not the idea of, I'm the coach or I'm the teacher, therefore I'm going to set the dynamic and I'm going to, there's so many teachings about creating the draw where they feel like they have to be with you or need you. And that really is that fear-based paradigm again versus love.
Yeah, there is still, like, when I coach, I'm still the coach. I'm not there to be somebody's best friend.
Right.
However, the version of me you see here on video and the version of me you'd see down at the beach or wherever is the same person. Right. I don't become this strange other person. I actually just posted this on my business page that the phrase normally is something that people who are stuck in fear use a lot when they're selling. They'll be like, normally this program is $9.97, but just for today it's this much. And so they use a phrase like that to hide the fact that they don't believe they can actually stand behind their work and sell it full price. Doesn't mean you can't offer deals, but the way that to offer a specific deal is to phrase it in a way that's powerful for the person to choose herself.
Yeah. Rather than thinking, it like taints the conversation around money with this, in their head, they might not have been thinking, I need a deal, I need a deal, I need a deal.
Yeah.
And suddenly the verbiage, like normally it's this, but for you it's this, it puts that filter over it that doesn't need to be there. I'm so glad you pointed that out.
Yeah, it really shows that there's a low confidence aspect showing up. Now, okay, so a lot of my clients have been in business for a little while and they've had bad sales experience or just low sales or just like dry spells. I had those too. And so it does, your confidence can take a hit. So the Spread Love, Make Sales Bootcamp is this inspired idea to really focus for 30 days on getting awesome, kick ass at selling that first offer. You're like the equivalent of your first paid date, if you want for someone. So really knowing what you need to offer, how you need to talk about it, and just going out there and practicing. And it is really using the aspect of you have to be social first. So really connecting. And then so it's social. I can't remember my own things. Yeah, and then it's serve is the next one, and then sell. So the service part, so how one of the things I did when I decided I'm changing my business, I'm bringing in clients, is I said, well, I'm going to start to help people to create their own offers so they can bring in money. I'm not going to discount my services because they're awesome. I'm going to offer a special, like I did create a package right before I increased my prices, which was good, strategic. But I help these women on each call think about how they can bring in money now. So that was my way of serving them. And it was a free thing. Like it wasn't tied to you becoming my client or not. It was just, I just want to help you.
Standalone. Yeah.
It was a standalone. I'm going to help you. And this is, if you want to be savvy and strategic and make sales, like this is something you could do. Some of them have implemented, others haven't. And the ones who haven't, it's usually to do with confidence, not but during the boot camp I want to focus on that first offer, because if you can start really selling that first offer, like if let's say consistently you're selling something that's, let's say, between $100 to $300 consistently, if you get 9-10 sales in a month, like what is going to happen to your confidence? Like it's going to go
way up
versus one sale that's, let's say, $3,000 or $5,000.
Right.
Like, I think for somebody who's had a confidence drop, it's really important to go for almost a little bit more volume, and so that you feel like, wow, all these women are trusting me. They're all saying yes. I heard yes 10 times as opposed to once. And so I've got what it takes. It changes the ecology of like your inner landscape. Like your thoughts start to shift. Like, well, if I can do this, then I can also do this, and then I can also do
factor goes way up when you've had that level of success, and then you can like incrementally increase it as you're going for it. I love that.
Yeah, and that mental shift that happened to me as a result of that 100% love, no fear, and the actions, there was lots of actions I took, lots. It changed my own mental resistance. I
That's the whole
stopped
game.
stopping myself.
That's the whole game.
Yeah, it is the whole game. It's all in your mind.
Yeah, it's the vibration you approach things with that affects how things play out for you.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. My phone decided to ring.
And that's funny. You can't, it's so funny in business, almost like when you start on that entrepreneurial journey or you take on a challenging role in your career or whatever, it is it's like total playground for you to learn and work out the things that you have within you. And that's why I love this combination of like the heart and the soul-centered aspect of business, because that's really where the game is played, because that's an opportunity for us to go through our own transformative journey and then be there for the other person at the same time. So it's totally one and the same.
Exactly. It's that integration. And like ultimately and she's a change maker. I want to help women build and grow their business, but it's really my deeper love is like grow yourself into the person you're meant to be the leader you're meant to be, and all the people you're meant to help. Like it's the personal growth journey.
I love it.